Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer. This is Ralph Phillips. Guess what, guys? We did it. We won a football game. What's up, Zach? Al, what's going on? Al, again, you won the prediction. You're only off by 2 again. What is it? You got a crystal ball over there, man. Beast, what's going on, brother? Oh, man, I tell you, that was a game. That's what I'm going to say. That was a game. I got a little tipsy yesterday. Started about the same time the game did. And by the end of the game, I was 3 sheets to the wind. I actually tried to do a video, but it turned out so bad. I couldn't even post it. But that game will make you drink. That was a tough one, man. Yeah. What are the winning lottery numbers, Al? We need to know. You know, as the title says, Mike Evans, man. Mike Evans. That was probably one of the greatest plays I've ever seen. I was on the verge of just writing this team off. And then Mike Evans goes and pulls that mess. I mean, that was a beautiful catch and run. I think it's the first time I ever saw Mike Evans outrun people. And not only that, he did the Superman into the end zone. They said he lost 20 pounds this year. I was wondering why he looked so much faster. 20 pounds? Good grief. What's up, Tom? I know, those are the ones that usually get the most views. You think I'm joking, but almost all the ones that I've gotten that are huge views is me tipsy, just ranting about something. Yeah, I should have. I was actually taking videos as I was watching the game. And all the way up until Mike's big catch, that was... Yeah, about 5 minutes in the third quarter. About 5 minutes for the whole game. I was complaining. I mean, it was horrible. Mike looks slow. Now, MH, man, come on now. You got to admit, compared to how Mike normally looks, that was Speedy Gonzalez. That was Sonic the Hedgehog. But I'm watching this game, and I'm thinking, okay, here we are. This is basically a playoff game for us. You know, we got to win. And everybody on the team acknowledged it. This is a game we got to win. We got to win this game. But one, it's the Panthers, right? It's the stinking Panthers. They've won one game this year. They're a bad team. We should beat them just for that. But two, we need to beat them because, you know, our chances of going to the playoffs or, you know, having a winning record or winning the NFC South are kind of, you know, we pretty much have to win out. And so here we are. We're going into this game and we have to play good football. And we were playing crap football. It was just bad football against a bad team. It was 2 bad teams out there playing. It was some ugly football. There were 16 punts in this game. 16. 8 from each side. There was a stretch there where I think it was 4 possessions where there was 0 yards gained by either team. I mean, it was a really bad football. Baker Mayfield was throwing some of the ugliest passes. And then Bryce Young was just throwing ugly passes too and throwing passes behind him. I think he got called for 1 intentional grounding. I think I counted 3. It was just bad, ugly football. It was 3 and out, punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out, punt. And then all of a sudden, Mike was just like that. They ended up getting the lead, right? It was 10-7 late in the third quarter. And, the Mayfield got sacked. Wirfs got beat on that play. Mayfield got sacked. And then we punted it. That was 9-19 in the third quarter. And then they get the ball. They actually converted a third down which they only did 3 times in this game, I think. 3 out of 15 times. Not very great on the third downs. And I think we only did like 5 out of 15. But they converted a third down, and then they had a big catch and run, 32 yards, 15 Mingo on, pretty sure it was on Carlton Davis. He got beat quite a bit in this game. It looks like. We'll have to see on the all 22. Then they got put on the Bucks 9. Then the next play, Chuba Hubbard got to the 1 yard, and then the next play after that, Hubbard rums it in. And then right after that, they showed a shot of David Tepper and his wife in the booth or in their box. She looked like she was like a Mormon. She had this like big puffy shouldered long sleeve dress on, like buttoned up to her thing. Normally not her style. I was like, oh, what's going on there? Maybe she converted. But then right after that, that's when like Mike Evans was like, all right, I've had enough of this. And then he just went off. He just went off on a very first play after that possession. Mike gets a 74-yard catch and run. But then right after that, on that extra point, after that, Brian Burns ends up punching Cody Mock in the face, and Brian Burns got ejected from the game. Now, they didn't show what led up to that. It was, why was Brian Burns on special teams on the punt blocking unit? That was very strange. But then, I don't know what happened, but he ends up just punching Cody Mock in the face. And I'm sitting there, I'm laughing. I was like, now that's some Jensen stuff there. Maybe he is learning from Jensen. Jensen gets you so aggravated, he'll get you thrown out of the game. But they didn't show what led up to it. Maybe we'll see on the all 22. They showed a little bit of the scrum, though. But then after that, it was the Panthers got the ball back. It was 3 and out. Bucks got the ball back. It was 3 and out. Panthers got the ball back. They got a first down, but then on 3rd and 11, Young got sacked, and then they punted. I mean, it was an ugly game. Besides Mike Evans, our offense was garbage. Well, Rachaad White did okay. But look, on receiving, we had 202, 194 net. But Mike Evans had 162 yards of 194. Rachaad White had 22 yards. Palmer had 12. Tompkins had 4. Edmonds had 2. And Godwin had 0. He did have that end-around touchdown for 19 yards, but that was a running play. But, I mean, our receivers, non-existent. It was just Mike Evans. B-Mock, what's going on? Rampage, Dylan, what's up? LMH. Zach. Let me go back. You'll never guess, but I'm far behind on the chat. I've just been sitting here running my mouth. Evans only 5-6 good games a year. Oh, you won the contest. You just didn't account for bad weather. If it wouldn't have rained, you would have had it. Oh, that's right, Beast. You were at the game. Yeah, it was rainy as all get out. I mean, at one point at the start of I think it was the start of the half or right around the halftime, it was raining so hard on the camera it looked foggy. You fell asleep to this game? Zach? I almost did. But it was boring. It was boring up until that third quarter when Mike went off. Let's remember this was against the Panthers before we start dishing out new contracts. I'm saying sign Mike Evans. I'm back on the Mike Evans train. We cannot let him go. We can't let him go. He single-handedly won this game. We were going to lose. We were behind until Mike Evans pulled that 74-yard touchdown. We were going to lose. Mike said, I ain't having this. I ain't having it. Is she with that owner for the money, you think? Yeah, I think so. Although she's in her 50s, I think. Yes, B-Mock. Victor Monday. Mingo's a reflection of how awful the Panthers scouting team is. I don't even know if they got a scouting team. I think it's just David Tepper sitting there going, I like this guy. I like this guy. We continue to have busts on zone coverage. Yeah, we're going to look at the all-22. I don't think it's going to look good, man. Not in the cave today, Dylan? What's up, Lucas? I know, right? I'm on the Mike Evans train again. So pay that man his money. You just got to. After a performance like that, and you realize, he single-handedly won us that game. He's got 1,000 yards. I mean, he's going to break records. He's already breaking records. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We just need to keep him. I don't want to see him go anywhere else. So we're definitely back to the 8-9 records all over again for 18 years. Oh no. That was a really tough time to be a Buccaneers fan. Pick 15, Buccaneers. Pick 15, Buccaneers. Pick 19, Buccaneers. I think we got up to pick 7 at one point. Rampage says it would have been better off if we had lost. Let Mike walk if this is what we have against the Panthers. It was an ugly game. But Mike showed up. Yeah, he'd had 90% of the passing yards. I actually broke it down. 84% of the passing offense was Mike Evans. 84%. And a very large percent of that was on one play. I'd have to say Evans gets the game ball. Just that goes without saying. On defense, I would say Winfield. And then as recognition, I'd say Rachaad White. Other than that, not too many people did anything. Baker Mayfield was throwing some really bad passes. A couple of them with it, like that one duck, the interception. I don't know what that was. It just I guess because the ball was wet, it just like came out of his hands. But the way he threw it. It looked like he threw it to be a bomb, like way up. When you could see, when he released it, it was a really high release, and it came out bad, but I don't think it was going to be a good pass, even if he would have held onto it. Oh, speaking of which, him and his wife announced they're having a baby, their first child. That's awesome. Yeah, Mike Evans was 12 for 7. Or 7 for 12. Yeah, 12 targets. 162 yards, 1 touchdown. The Panthers won the time of possession. They had it for a 33-42 to our 26-18. That's huge. That's almost 7 minutes more. That's insane. Mayfield was sacked 1 time for 8 yards. Young was sacked 4 times for 29. I saw that 4 times for 29, but I could only find 3 guys that got sack statistics. So I don't know what that is. But like I said, 16 total punts in this game. 16 punts. 8 for each team. That's bad. They gave Ryan Neal the game ball. He did have that one play. That was great. At tackle for a loss on Hubbard at the goal line. It was a 3rd down, 3rd and 1, and he sacked him, or he got the tackle for a loss, so they ended up being 4th and 4. They might would have gone for it on 4th and 1, but they ended up having to kick a field goal. But yeah, playing inside linebacker. I wasn't too impressed with their inside linebacker play. I heard everybody was giving J.J. Russell props today. I didn't really see it. We'll look at it on the all-22, but to me it looked like him and Neal were kind of taking a lot of bad angles and wrong holes and trying to arm tackle. Our veterans sit out too much for what they make. You mean sit out like injury-wise, or they just don't get enough snaps? I know, Rampage. It's like a catch-22. You don't want to win this garbage division and watch all the other teams draft franchise quarterbacks while we're stuck with subpar everything. But at the same time, you're like, I want to win the division. You never know. We might go to the Super Bowl. Just get in the playoffs, baby. Anything could happen. One sack was a team sack. Everybody gets a sack. You get a sack. You get a sack. If they give Mike a big extension, people will regret it. Come on, guys. Got to give Mike the love. Could you imagine seeing Mike go play with like the Panthers or anywhere else? And then we're stuck with mediocre receivers for the next decade. He's a once in a lifetime receiver. It's easy to get 1,000 yards a season these days anyway. Well, then go do it, Rampage. I'm joking. Well, yeah, you know, how many receivers do get 1,000-yard seasons now? I think it's easier. Let me see. Can't believe y'all guys are giving Mike such a hard time. I was expecting everybody to be like, oh, Mike Evans is the bomb. I'm looking up stats on receiving. We've got 30. Wait. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys with 1,000 yards so far this year. So yeah, seems like it's pretty easy to do. Let me see last year. See how many got 1,000 yards. Good grief. Justin Jefferson got 1,800 last year. Tyreek Hill had 1,700. Good grief. I can't even count how many. 1, 2. It looks like 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22 receivers got 1,000 yards or more last year. So that's like one per team. Let's go back to 1999. See how many. Well, it's about the same, actually. Oh, it's actually more. Whoa. Huh. Wasn't expecting that. It's actually more than they show here. Marvin Harrison led the league in 1999 with 1,663 yards. 12 touchdowns. Chris Carter had 13 touchdowns that year. You know, what are y'all talking about over here? Lucas is perfectly fine not winning the division. Because as soon as we do, we're just going to get slaughtered in the playoffs. Oh, man. But the thing of it is, you know, if we win the division, right, then that means Dallas would have to come to Tampa to play. That's the only reason why I want to win, is because you get one more game of football, right? San Antonio, what's up? I know. Yeah. That's why I don't really follow it's one of the many reasons why I don't really follow the college football and the draft so much, is because, you know, you get these players and you're like, oh, they're going to be awesome. And then they just fizzle out or bomb or bust or whatever. Like 2 years ago, I wanted, who's that guy? He ended up getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns. And he ended up just being a bust, having off-field issues. I don't even know if he's with the team anymore. I'm looking. Yeah, he's not even with the team. Did they cut him? Molly, who was that guy? Oh, Perry, right? And then this year, I wanted Cody Mock. Kind of regret that one. Although it didn't seem like he had a horrible game yesterday. But I'm interested. I'm going to watch the All-22 with him now that we've gotten some information from Dave Canales about what it is he wants the running back and the lineman to do. That whole the running backs he wants them to maneuver the linebackers into the double teams. So that's going to be interesting. I want to look at that on all 22. Al's putting his prediction in already for Wild Card Weekend. Yeah. LMH wants to boot Mike out. Oh, I know, Tom. Yeah, that 3rd and 1, and they passed, and Bryce Young threw it away. It's like, you don't do that on 3rd and 1. I mean, I guess you could, technically, because you got 4th and 1, but he didn't know they were going to go for it. Three years ago, Evans was the man. Yeah, Mike is very consistent. Yes, 100%. I mean, he's got his bad games and all that good stuff, but when you average it out, he's very consistent. I know, Rampage. We're trying to get Al to give us the lottery ticket numbers. Joe, what's going on, brother? I'm feeling great today. Not gonna lie, I got a little bit of a hangover. Where's the MK at? Speaking of hangovers. It's like celebrating a quarterback for throwing 3,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. But it's a stat, Rampage. He's winning in a stat. He's got to be happy with it. Yeah, he could make it to 1,400. Bat, what's going on? Yeah, I know. That's the horrible thing. I mean, we all don't. We want a high draft pick. I mean, right now we're picking 9th. That win yesterday cost us 1 draft spot. So we're at 9th right now. And if we continue winning, that's just going to drop us down. But at the same time, I mean, we're right there. We're right there with the NFC South championship. If we beat Atlanta next week, which that's at Atlanta, right? Yeah. That's going to be a tough, yeah, I don't know. But if we beat them next week, then we're going to be in the league. Oh, they did? They call it a team sack? I guess that's what happened then. Because I only saw 3 people credited with 1 sack. Perion Winfrey. That was his name. Manziel. Yeah. Perfect example. Yeah. Which, Mike Evans. Mike Evans made people think Manziel was good. Yeah, we need a franchise quarterback. Yeah, CeeDee Lamb has been killing it too. He would embarrass Davis. Hey, MK. What's up, man? Robinson's going to run for 150. Rampage ain't got no. I really thought you guys would be more optimistic. It was an ugly game yesterday, and we definitely looked like we were right on the Panthers level. It was definitely a battle of have-nots. It's like both teams were trying to give the game away until Mike Evans stepped up and said, all right, I'll take it. Oh, we're playing Ritter again. That's right. They went to Heineke. Did Heineke end up getting hurt? Is that why they went back to Ritter? Yeah, Rampage, maybe we should draft like 4 quarterbacks in this draft. Just one of them's got to work, right? The battle of the turds. Yeah, 16 punts. Remember we were talking about, I can't remember what game it was. It was in the past, I think it might have been Thursday night, or it was this past week anyhow, where there was a game that had no punts. It's only the 6th time that's ever happened. And then our game has 16 punts. I think it might have been the Philadelphia 49ers game. So you get 2 good teams, you don't get a lot of punting, I guess. 2 bad teams, lots of punts. I actually, people, there's all kinds of ways to try and figure out metrics for a team that's going to be bad, like turnover ratios, third down conversion, stuff like that. But I figured, doing my own research, that the team that punts the most was going to be the team that sucks the most. And it correlates pretty good. If you look at the teams that do the most punting, they're the teams with the losing records. So you don't want to punt. We punted 16 times. Horrible. So we had Levante David, Devin White, and Servassier Dennis were all out going to this game. Servassier Dennis had illness, and he just couldn't play. And so we had KJ Britt and JJ Russell in as inside linebackers. Well, within the first, I think it was the first series, maybe it might have been the second series, I think he ended up getting 4 snaps, maybe 7. KJ Britt got hurt, and he was the one with the communications. So he was out, and they put Ryan Neal in as inside linebacker, and they gave the sticker to JJ Russell. So that was insane, man. Besides our game, there were some pretty good games this weekend. Tank Dell broke his leg. I was like, what? He's out for the season. The Titans have fired their special teams coordinator, Craig Aukerman. Eagles ended up signing linebacker Shaquille Leonard. I was surprised at how easy the Panthers ran on us. That's why you were talking about the Panthers throwing the ball on 3rd and 1, or trying to. Had 2 incompletions there. They were running the ball on us all day. I don't know why they didn't run the ball there. Everyone's Debbie Downers like we're Cleveland fans. I know, they're all like, let's get rid of Mike. He's too old. Anybody can do what he does. Al, you think Green Bay's any good? I didn't really pay attention to them. I watched them at the beginning of the year, and they were stinking it up. I haven't really paid attention to them lately, but I saw them beat the Chiefs pretty decisively. Well, thanks a little bit help from the refs, too. That was a horribly reffed game. Joe was just glad no one drowned in the rain. Yeah, it was rated bad there. Who was it? The Pittsburgh game got delayed twice for rain and lightning. Rampage would take one in the top 2 rounds every 3 years until I had a great one. Then I'd draft one in the 4th to 7th every 3 years after I had my elite starter to develop good, cheap backups. Well, there you go. I'm nominating Rampage for general manager. That sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, we got better players on paper, MH. But that really just aggravates me that we got all these good players and they're not stepping up. JJ Russell looked better than Devin White. I think at this point, anybody looks better than Devin White. Yeah, 49ers-Eagles game was pretty good. 49ers made a statement there, didn't they? Yeah, I like doing that too, Rampage. The same thing with offensive linemen. I think those are positions that you can really hurt players by putting them in too early. their confidence and their understanding. Eagle fans so sad today, it's still 10-2. They forgot what it's like to lose, right? Except Super Bowls. Yeah, I was surprised when they didn't run that ball. Tried 2 passing plays in a row. Was it the second one? The second one was intercepted, right? Was that Winfield's interception? Was that on that play? But the first on the 3rd and 1, and Bryce Young rolls out and then just throws the ball out, just throws it away. I was like, you can't do that. That's what losing teams do. Yeah, it was Winfield got that interception on that 4th and 1. And the weird thing about that is on the NFL replay, where you can watch the games, they got the condensed version and the long version. That play's not on there, on either one, on the condensed version or the broadcast replay. I had to actually go and look it up on the highlight reel that the NFL did right after the game, highlights of Week 13, Panthers versus Bucks, to actually see it again. Because for some reason, it's cut out of the replays on the NFL.com. It's a good interception. I want to know why Burns punched Cody Mock in the face. Yeah, playing in Green Bay was definitely their advantage. You could see the Chiefs players they just wanted to go home. They were freezing. They were cold. They all looked miserable, like from the start. I was like, oh man, they do not look happy to be there. And Taylor Swift was there too. You'd think they'd be all like amped up and stuff. No, they were all like just sitting there going, let's just get this game over with. That's how we're going to be. When do we play them? We play them on the 17th of December. It's going to be so cold there. Wentzville. The Falcons, Packers, and Jags. Now, at the beginning of the year, of those 3 teams, I might would have said the Jags were going to be a little difficult. But now, all 3 of them are going to be difficult. You accidentally typed your town. Wentzville. Rampage lives in Wentzville. Yeah, that's a good point, Tom. Yeah, so that just pads his stats, that interception. It actually hurt us because it put the ball further down the field. I didn't even think about that. But then right after that, Rachaad White got that 30-yard run and he slid. I wish he would have went for the touchdown. I don't think he could have made a touchdown because he was like surrounded by guys. But he ran for 30 yards and he could have gotten more. But then he downed it so that we could do the victory formation. But I got him on fantasy football. Would have been nice if he would have went for a touchdown there. Oh, I got Mike Evans on fantasy football. That was sweet. I ended up losing this week, though, because the guy I was playing had CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And I think combined they both got like 100 points. So I didn't break 150 this week. Hit that like button. Cody's front teeth marked safe from Brian Burns. Now we know why he don't have no front teeth. That happened when he playing football in Little League, right? And he's never wanted to get them fixed. Yeah, we had some bad play calls in this game, Rampage. There was a couple I was just in these routes. I just don't like them. I don't like the concepts. I'm not even sure what they're trying to do on a lot of these things. I think Canales might have bit off more than he could chew. Don't know. You put up 227 in fantasy football? Good grief. The highest I've ever gotten, I think, is like 198. I think I might have broke 200 one time. Yeah, there you go, MK. That's the happy sad. You're sad you're getting beat, but you're glad as Mike Evans doing it. Dak Trash Cop. Sorry, I forgot there was a name change. You don't like the Carroll coaching tree? What's really come out of it? I can't think of any coaches that have really came out of it that have done good. Oh, yeah. So the Perion Winfrey. This is the guy I wanted 2 years ago for the draft. This is why I don't pay attention to the draft. So I wanted this guy. I was like, Perion Winfrey, we need to get him. And the Browns ended up drafting him with the 108th overall pick in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL draft. Then they released him this year in July. He was waived by the Browns after being investigated for threatening and pulling a gun on a woman in Cleveland. How could you? You could watch all the college football in the world. You would never expect that to happen. And the Jets ended up putting him on their practice squad, of course. The Jets. This guy likes to pull guns and threaten people. We need him on our team. I've had the Browns defense on my fantasy football for the past couple of weeks, and they've stank it up. I got like 0.23 points from them. I gotta find another defense. You'll never be a fan of White running up the middle. He did pretty good running up the middle, Joe, in this week, but it was against the Panthers. Oh, no, I believe you, MH. Warner criticized our play design earlier this year. Really? That's the quarterback, Warner, right? You're talking about? Did he do a breakdown of our game film? Kurt Warner? I have to go back and look at that. Yeah, the verse star blocking wide receiver was nice. Hey, if that's how he's got to score a touchdown, then let's do it. Texas D looks solid. Former Jags head coach. Looks like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. Oh, I got to put that on our list. I'm trying to get a Christmas movie list together for the family to watch. Charlie Brown Christmas. Got to put that on there. Never watched a film on Oprah. Brownstein has been hurt by their offense sucking. Yeah, that's what I assume. Because they were doing real good for me, and then all of a sudden, after Deshaun Watson exits the scene, they've stank it up. What's up, David? Based Warner. Watts ended up getting some snaps yesterday. I had everything pulled up here. Oh, you know who else got snaps yesterday? Matt Feeler. So I'm telling you, that injury thing was a save face deal. He got snaps yesterday on special teams. So he could play. He could play left guard. Yeah, Marquise Watts. He got 7 snaps on defense. Cade Otton got as many snaps as Tristan Wirfs did. Wirfs was out for a snap. I guess he got hurt or something. Rashad White played 87% of the snaps. Chris Godwin was in for more snaps than Mike Evans was. What are they doing with him? It's so weird. And Carlton Davis was the only defensive player to get 100% of the snaps. Merriweather got 35 snaps, so he got almost half the snaps, free safety. David Moore got 8 snaps on offense. Ryan Miller got 3 snaps on offense. Dang. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel there, aren't we? Trying to find somebody to catch the ball. Now, Patrick O'Connor was brought up, activated. He played snaps last week against the Colts, but he didn't this week. He got 10 snaps on special teams. Yeah, I got to drop that Cleveland Browns defense. Yeah. If we keep Baker for 2024, let's go for the division. If we're letting him go in 2024 and winning, I'm going to be mad. I did not like his performance yesterday. He looked way too skittish, threw some really ugly passes. And man, he just really does not read his progressions at all. I mean, Godwin got 3 passes. Only one of them was catchable, I think. He ended up dropping that. But, I mean, he never even looks at Godwin. The Factory of Sadness. Yeah, that is a good name for the Browns. Kurt Warner can't be bothered to waste his time on doing a Baker. Well, it makes sense because not too many people watch. The Bucs are a small market. If you're looking for views and stuff, you talk about the Dallas Cowboys and the Patriots. Although I bet their fan base is starting to dwindle quite a bit. The Denver Broncos, they got a strong fan base. Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about those teams. Buccaneers don't get no love. Gus Bradley. Yeah, he was one. Dan Quinn, did he come from Seattle? I think he did, yeah. Yep, he was a defensive guy, right? Yeah, Neil played inside linebacker. Had a couple instances I saw where he just arm tackled, but he had some good tackles yesterday too. It's something I'm not liking about this team is the way we're tackling. I mean, we've had a problem with it for quite a few years, but it seems like it's really getting bad now. Like we're tackling to not get hurt. Quinn is not coming to the Bucs. Yeah, he's killing it at Dallas, man. Yeah, Baker locks on Mike, man. I mean, Mike had 12 passes thrown his way. What's up, Clack? See, I'm partial to defensive. I like defense. But as far as having a defensive head coach, you know, let's just get a good defensive coordinator. That's what I want. Oh, sweet, Clack. Nice. Savannah, Georgia. Happy anniversary, brother. So, does Lane and Monty come as a package deal now? Can't have one without the other? That would be awesome. Get Monty to come as the defensive coordinator, Lane as the head coach. Rampage. I've never understood the Browns. It doesn't make any sense. For one, you're called the Browns, but your color is orange. I guess they've got dark brown on them. But when you think of the Browns, you think of orange. So you're called the Browns, but your color is orange. And then your mascot's a dog? Right? That doesn't make any sense. And you're named after a person? Never understood it. The dog pound. Right, I agree with you, Clack. But if we draft a quarterback, that means we're probably not going to be good for another year or two or three. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, Al. You sit here, we're like the diehards. We watch all the game film and sit around and talk Buccaneers football for 10 hours a week. We're like the only people that do that. So we know all this weird, obscure stuff like Cody Mock not doing too good and Hainsey not doing too good and Baker and his non-existent progressions, Wirfs, slipping up. But, so when you hear national media talk about this team, you're just like, yeah, y'all don't know what you're talking about. I know, Monty's got to be 100 now. 23 years, Clack. Congratulations, man. That's awesome. Start Trask next year and let the rookie sit. But do you want him learning from Trask, though? Oh, I know those Mike Edward pick sixes. That's so weird. That and Whitehead were two of the really befuddling moves we made. SMB, I could understand. I guess we just didn't want to pay guys big money. But I don't think Whitehead made big money, did he? Or Edwards. If Trask is that bad, we'll get an elite edge guy or wide receiver for our bad year. There you go. That's the silver lining. How are we ragging on the Browns? We're the NFC Browns, man. But Tom, there's a big difference now. They're brown with just that orange logo helmet. We got swag. We got a skull and swords and flags and all these kind of esoteric colors. And come on now. Can't compare us to the Browns. He's learning from our coaches. That might even be worse. Bucks do have great logos and colors, I think. And I love our new word mark. I think it's a piece of art. I say it all the time. That's a beautiful, beautiful word mark. I like the shirts I've got, the new ones that have the word mark on them. I love those things, man. I want one that's just like a big word mark. Buccaneers. I was thinking about putting it on my car on the side, just the word mark. Because I think it's awesome looking. It's a piece of art. $7 million for 2 years. See, that's not too bad. 2.5, $3 million. That's not too bad, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Y'all gonna make Molly mad. Slander in the Buccaneers. She will fight you. Dallas Turner. Is he a good edge guy? Yeah, I agree with you, David. I wanted Whitehead too. David's just real. I've never understood the. I don't know. He doesn't have that the spectacularness that you need from cornerbacks. I think he's just a guy. Certain letters look like a cutlass. Yeah. Yeah, so much better than those alarm clock numbers, man. That was tough. That was a tough time period to be a Buccaneer fan if you like uniforms and logos. And the horrible thing about it was on all 22, it was impossible to read those numbers. Impossible, especially the shoulders. Couldn't read them at all. And if guys' jerseys were crumpled up just a little bit, you couldn't read the number either. I hated those numbers. Hated them. Oh, $7 million a year? Oh, that's a little much. Nelson's going to be odd man out next year. I've been saying that every year for the past 5 years. We keep cutting him and bringing him back. Tom hated the Whitehead move too. Yeah, that was a tough one, man. It didn't make any sense. Al, you gonna blame your spelling errors on your bad internet too? It's the bad internet doing it, man. If Bowles is not back, then Nelson and Golston will be gone. Golston's so cheap though for his. Yeah, but he probably will be. I mean, he's old. Yeah, I've always felt Davis is overhyped. Tom thinks Shaq is gone. I think Al was saying that next year we'd have to swallow too much on his contract, so we're going to keep him for at least another year, right? Bad internet's making you mistype words. It'll do it, man. Yeah, I think this team is going to be totally different next year. It's going to be weird, Like not having Levante David is going to be so weird. Whenever that happens, I mean, we've had him for over a decade, man. And we've had Mike Evans for over a decade, right? Yeah. A lot of these guys have been on this team for a while, man. Then we got a bunch of new guys too, but a lot of these guys, I don't feel like they're just kind of ships in the night. How many snaps did Logan Hall get? Logan Hall's not a starter anymore. I guess Cansey took his spot. I don't even recall seeing Logan Hall out there. Ooh, he only got 23 snaps. He got 32% of the snaps. He got less snaps than Tryon Sharenka got. Tryon got 27 snaps. Uh-oh. I'll be right back. Had to turn the AC down. It's getting hot in here again. And then computer's gonna start glitching. All right. Clack. That's fun. That's funny. You're talking about being replaced. I was like, what in the world is Clack talking about there? I had to go back and read Al's comment. That's hilarious. That's funny. But since the restructure, the Bucs ended up guaranteeing Shaq's 2024 contract. Yes, so he's going to be here next year. That's why he was the last person to be restructured. Gotcha. Get rid of the guys they have paid and aren't performing. I agree. Logan Hall, useless, I know, right? Such a shame, too. I mean, he came out this year, at the beginning of the year, he was looking strong. That only lasted a few games. Yeah, and guys, can we give, like, recognition for the fact that Al Bundy has won 5 of the score predictions, 5 of the 11 or 13 score predictions, almost half. You're gonna make everybody else not want to play, man. You got to be wildly wrong this week. Molly Bay called you a cheater, Al. Yeah, I was watching Vita yesterday too, and he's just not getting pushed like he used to anymore. Either. So we're just not getting much with our front four. Of course, I say that, and then we went and watched the Colts game last week on all 22, and we did good with pressure with our front four. They were just getting the ball out fast. So, quite a few penalties in this game yesterday, too, at bad times. These were just, it was 2 really bad teams, I felt like. I felt like I was watching 2 bad teams. Until Mike said, I'm done with this. Oh, do y'all remember when Mike Evans at 4:23 in the second quarter. Mike caught the ball for a first down, and 25, Xavier Woods, their strong safety, launches and hit Mike right in the helmet with his helmet. It was helmet-to-helmet contact. Mike was a little woozy getting up from that one. I don't know how they didn't call a penalty on that. I mean, it was quick, but it was definitely. And the guy had launched, put his head down, hit Mike right in the head. And then right not too far, he's the guy that got the interception on Mayfield, who just threw up that duck, and then it was kind of a jump ball, and Mike ended up losing that one. Very ugly throw by Mayfield. Like I said, I mean, I understand the conditions were pretty bad with the rain and all that, but even the way he threw it, it looked like he was trying to chunk it way down the field or something. He threw it like with a high arc. But then they didn't do anything with that interception. They went 3 and out, punted. Oh, that was right before the half. That was one of the craziest series because it was just a battle of the have-nots. Okay, Mayfield throws an ugly pass, right? He gets intercepted. They get the ball. They don't do anything with it. They don't get a yard. Then they kick it. They punt it. We get the ball with over a minute left before the half. And I think we had all 3 of our timeouts left. Then on 3rd and long, we get it, but we had 2 penalties on offense, so that backs us up to 3rd and 19 or something like that. And no, it was 3rd and 14. Then we snap the ball and we get a false start, false start on Stinney. So then that backs us up some more. 3rd and 19. We do nothing. Punt it. Then the Panthers get the ball. This is all within the first 2 minutes of the half. The Panthers get the ball back with 53 seconds. Mind you, we got the ball with, I think, 1:05. So in like 12 seconds, we ran like 6 plays and did nothing. So then they ended up moving the ball a little bit to the midfield, and then they get a holding penalty on 3rd down. It was 3rd and 6. So then that made it 3rd and 16 with 11 seconds left. Then Bryce throws an almost interception. Winfield ended up dropping that one. So then it's 4th and 16, and they go for it, and Bryce just throws it out of bounds. Just throws it away, and that was the end of the half. It was like the worst. There was like 6 series there. Like the Buccaneers had 3, and the Panthers had 3, all within the last 3 minutes. And nobody could move the ball. It was horrible. There was like 6 penalties in it. It was bad football. That's why I was just sitting there. I was like, I don't know if I can watch the rest of this game. And then we come out. They ended up getting the ball to start the half, and they went 3 and out. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is ugly football. And then guess what we did? We get the ball. We go 3 and out. This is bad football. Did Tom go? I'm just seeing where he says he's about to sign off. Is he angry? Did somebody say something mad to Tom? 73 Falcons, 6 Buccaneers. Here we go again. We're making cuts in week 13, I know. David's got a roadmap. So you think we should go with O-line and then rework our secondary? New offense, Vita fullback, Wirfs running back. Wirfs fullback, Vita running back. Y'all argue about anything, won't you? Tom, I get it. I just had to scroll down. GTA 6 trailer just dropped. Oh, I saw the new Road Warrior Furiosa 2 is coming out. Looks good. You know what? If you did gamble out, you'd probably be absolutely horrible at it. That's how it works. Yo, mate, you doing your prediction already? Is that for week 14? Boom, you're on the board. Oh, I know. I want to see a Godzilla -1 too. Rampage. That's a good Japanese Godzilla. Bring SMB back, huh, David? Is corners like a thing of the past? I mean, I can't remember the last time I've watched like a true shutdown cornerback. You know, I think we talked about that here before, but it just seems like cornerbacks are kind of going the way of the dodo. All right. I was going to go see that Napoleon Rampage, but I heard it sucked. So we're left with, well, there's some other movie we were going to go see too. Reacher and House of Dragons seasons 2. Is that spinoff from Game of Thrones? House of Dragons? Yeah, that's what I think. MH, I think the division's going to come down to the last week, 2 weeks maybe. It's going to be a mess. And whoever doesn't win it is going to be so mad because we're going to have a crappy draft pick. Oh, I know. Rampage. I saw I think it was a Saturday Night Live clip or something from like a decade ago, and they were joking about how he hadn't finished that book yet, but they're like, oh, it'll be finished soon. And that was like a decade ago. Hey, Kate. How you feeling, man? You happy about this Victory Monday? Molly's been in here chastising everybody because she said we got a Victory Monday and everybody's in here acting like we're the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, I'm very sad about that, Rampage. I was hoping to see a good Napoleon movie. I don't know. I don't know if Sauce is a shutdown cornerback. He's a good cornerback. I don't know if I consider him a shutdown though. Don't know. I watched some game film on him his first year in the league. I just don't, man, I don't get a chance to watch TV this much anymore. I used to watch a lot of TV. I don't anymore. It kind of goes along with the whole sports thing, I had to cut out a lot of my sports watching because I just don't have the time. It's all the holding. That's why Sauce is so good. Oh, I love Game of Thrones. Me and Molly used to watch that religiously. Matter of fact, I've got like a poster in our bedroom. the house, the winter is coming. Exactly, Kate. I know. Mike Evans was the whole team. We should have put him on defense. He might could have stopped their run game. But the good thing about that was they just stopped the run game themselves. They go for it on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, and they try to throw passes on both of them. We were like, what? You've been killing us in your run game. What are you doing? Were the Bears beating the Browns? Ugh. Oh, man. See, we can't even win and be happy. That was an ugly game, though. I got to say, though, I was so... Molly was gone. She didn't get to watch the game. And when she came back, I think she came back, what was it, Molly, about fourth quarter? At that point, I was 3 sheets to the wind, and I was like, man, you got to see this catch by Mike Evans. It's the best thing that ever happened. I was all amped up. It was a great catch, though. Catch and run. I was like, Mike Evans finally outran somebody. Yeah, we need those animals on the defensive line. And the 3rd, that's when you came back, Molly? Okay. Kate's in here being a Browns fan too, Molly. I thought somebody was going to come in here and be happy about our win. David, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, Dave Canales is talking about Mock is playing a lot better. In the past couple of games, he has played better. But it's kind of one of those situations where there's only one way to go. It's up. So I don't know if they would put him at left tackle or not. If they want to move him around any because he's just now starting to get it. Their offensive coordinator is their running backs coach. Are we talking about Carolina? Oh, that guy that was running Evans down? Yeah, number 23, I think it was. Yeah. Well, when Evans caught the ball and he had all that room right in front of him, I was like, he's never going to make it. I've seen him get run down so many times. And he actually outran people. And then he did that Superman dive into the end zone. That was great. I remember he did a flip into the end zone one time. Yeah, I think you're right, Al. They'll put School in there before they revamp the O-line. Are we hearing news that Wirfs might be out for a while or something? Al's happy with our win. Okay, there we go. There we go. David's happy. Yeah, that's a tough question, David. Like I was saying, they took Feeler out, and he got snaps yesterday, but on special teams, so he could play. They're just choosing not to put him back in. The same thing they did to Gedeke last year. Gedeke got hurt. They put Leverett in and never took him back out. I did not know that. So, Al, they got all kinds of stuff. So their head coach is a special teams coach. Their offensive coordinator is a running backs coach. They got a mess going on over there. Yeah, Mike Evans seems to have Carolina Panthers number. Well, there you go, Kate. That would be good for David's argument to move Mock over in the tackle spot. That's one of the reasons why we got him, so he could move around. Yeah, that dive was awesome. I thought he had stepped out of bounds at first, and then when they replayed it, I was like, oh! Mock definitely gets moved around. Yeah, it's not by the coaches. Jacko, what's going on? Yeah, Jacko, we're all sitting here trying to be optimistic about it. Yeah, at that age, diving hurts. I know. I wouldn't do it. Yeah, David, I would say it's the injury that's causing Wirfs to play like he's playing. It's the only thing I could come up with. Yeah. Yes, Tom. It was bad football. Like I said, we punted 8 times. There's 16 punts total in the game. And it was just bad football by both teams. It's like neither team wanted to win. We had those plays you talked about, the play by Mike. He had a couple good ones. Then the end around by Godwin, our blocking wide receiver. And the running back had a couple nice plays in. But other than that, those were very isolated incidences. They were not consistent. Oh, I agree, Jacko. Well, I actually can't say that because coming into preseason, I had low expectations for this team. But then throughout the preseason, I got all amped up. And then definitely when we started winning at the beginning of the year, I was all amped up. I was like, we're going to win it. I was talking about we're the 4th best team in the conference. Now I'm like surprised that we beat the Panthers. So I've gone from have low expectations to having high expectations to now having low expectations. But Al, we're gonna try. We're trying for that NFC South title, man. We just want that banner. That's it. Yeah, David, and that was after we pointed out that he was injured. So that was a re-injury on an injury that they really haven't talked about that I'm aware of. I know they said he had a groin injury at some point, but to me, it looks like right ankle. But I haven't heard anybody say anything about it. I think it was Ian Beckles. I think Kate said that Ian Beckles brought up that he's got an ankle injury. Yeah, it did, David. I was surprised. Looking back on it now, you're like, how did we get those 3 wins? We actually were playing pretty decent football. Now we just playing bad football. Our football would be bad. Who's playing tonight? Oh, you know what I want to do? I wanted to watch some press conferences. I haven't watched any press conferences. Did y'all watch press conferences? there was an official that got hurt in the Jaguars game. I saw it. I was watching Red Zone, and I saw after they talked about it, but they didn't replay it. Oh, man, yeah, he broke his leg. Oh, man, that's all twisted up. Woo. I'm going to pause it. If you don't like gore, don't look at this. This is the... man, I can't. Hold on. Look at the official's leg. It's bent. It's bent in a way it's not supposed to go. That was the the Detroit Saints game. Yeah, they never replayed it, so I didn't get a chance to see it. Molly just sent me the thing. You knew I'd like that. Don't show it. No. Yeah, these last two seasons could have been good seasons. I thought last year was going to be a lot better than it ended up being. Last year was bad too. I will say this. I am surprised that more people aren't on the Mike Evans bandwagon. I really thought that game would have converted some of you. I just don't want to get rid of him. I'm nostalgic like that. Burger King for dinner? Sweet. Molly, she's like, yeah. Well, you know what, Kate? I brought that up kind of in here, and everybody started crapping on me about how easy it is for receivers to get 1,000 yards now. They play more games, and it's more of an offensive game and everything. Like, yeah. They love Evans on PR. Oh, yeah, the drops. The drops were bad. There was that stretch he had. But that made me go, I'm ready to get rid of him. Yeah, Molly, remember that Carolina game where he dropped that sure touchdown? I was looking at PR where they have that intro. They stole my intro. They didn't really steal my intro. They licensed it. I assume they did. I would assume. But then Mike turned around that same year last year, got 3 huge touchdowns on the Panthers to make up for dropping it in that one game. Okay, where do I go for... We've had, David, it's not really just been Mike. It's like everybody's dropping passes. I wonder if Baker's got a weird throw or spin on the ball or something. There we go. Let's watch Todd Bowles.
Morning.
This is
Any sensor updates on
from today, I think.
some of the guys that missed the game might be by next Sunday?
Hopefully Levante will be close, so we'll see.
I didn't even hear the answer, the question there. David, I don't know why we didn't start Trask after Baker got hurt. I thought last week when Baker hurt his ankle, we were going to have Trask play out the rest of the game. It just seemed like to make sense to me, But I don't know, man. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right, Al. It is easier today, stat-wise. Yeah, that ref was pretty messed up, Tom. I know, Rampage. I don't understand drops. I really don't. It's like, that's your job. That's what you get paid to do. Catch the ball. Play it better, coach it better. Yep, that's what we're going to hear. Well, no, he probably won't say it this time because we won. David, fix the mic. That's funny. But I didn't even hear what the question was there. It's so quiet. Let me turn it up.
Any sensor updates on where some of the guys that missed the game might be by next Sunday?
Hopefully Levante will be close, so we'll see if he makes progress this week. So that'll be a big plus.
Let's see if he says it.
The rest of them we got to see about.
Savatier, probably.
He should be fine too.
Talking about injury to the linebackers.
Have like an MRI or anything on his back?
He's getting it done now.
Who?
Not after looking at the tape.
Dang it.
Have like an MRI or anything?
Got to see about.
Savatier, probably.
He should be fine too.
What about KJ? Did he have to have like an MRI or anything on his back?
He's getting it
KJ
done
Britt.
now.
KJ Britt's getting an MRI done on his back. When was this press conference? Is this today's? 6 hours ago. Okay. So yeah, this is today's press conference.
Todd, after looking at the tape, yesterday's game, what did you like from the team and certain players that you can kind of build on into next week's game?
Well, they were gritty. We made plays when we.
Yes. What? After watching the tape from yesterday's game, what are some of the things that you saw that you kind of like? And so now he's going to give us that answer. He'd look pretty cool with an arrow. Yeah.
We had to make plays. We got off the field on 3rd and 1. The offense made a big play, obviously, with Mike. Hayes made a big play on special teams. Defense made a big play in the fourth quarter to get off the field. So guys were making plays, and you got to make plays in this game to win this game. So we had different guys make plays at different times,
That's true.
which is what you want in December.
Nobody in this room has ever played a snap in the NFL. Some of us haven't even played football. Can you just speak to what
Jenna Lane, she said, nobody in this room has ever played a snap in the NFL, and some of us have never played football at all. So
what Ryan Neal was able to do? I guess he had one practice as a backup reserve inside linebacker. Or
Ryan, yeah.
she said, what Ryan Neal was able to do, has he ever had any snaps at inside linebacker?
One
he
practice.
was able to step in and do that.
And then she just interrupted him. She said, how was he able to do that? He was like, I was just answering it.
He's a tough guy. He's a smart guy, and most importantly, he's a team guy. He'll do whatever it takes for the team to win. He's very aware on the field. He just doesn't just understand his job. So I think that helped him a little bit going to linebacker, and he naturally can read and see the game. And, you know, the backers helped him out too. Or JJ, when he was in there, Coach Foote did a good job getting him prepped up on the sideline, and he played a heck of a ball game for us.
Oh, my gosh. A petition to have Bowles dress up as a pirate for all press conferences going forward. Oh, my gosh. That would be hilarious. Let's see. Let's see what he would look like with an eye patch. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're doing this. Guys, we got to start the petition. Give him a bandana. All right. Like this. Little wear a little thing up back there. Like that. Looks like anime, some Naruto or something. Should give him a big beard. I think that's the thing. I think we got to do it. We got to start the petition. Y'all crack me up.
You've had, especially Mike, a number of huge, big chunk plays this year in the passing game. What's that been the result of, do you think? Just it is.
Talk about Mike Evans getting big chunk plays this year. He said, what is that the result of?
Many 40-yard, 25-yard tackles.
Baker and Mike being on the same page. Really, Baker just reading the defense and seeing what they're giving him and take advantage of small things. He's a great film study guy, and when he sees things, he can take advantage of them.
Chris had a really important touchdown in the game, Chris Godwin talking about, but how surprising was it that he didn't have any catches in the game at receiver?
How surprising was it that Godwin didn't have any catches in this game?
Saw that. We were subbing him out a lot. Obviously, he's a little nicked up, so he's not totally 100%. Nobody is, but he's probably banged up more than most. For him to get the run for us was huge for him. I think it helped him out a lot. It helped us out a lot, so it was good to see him get in the end zone.
Brian Burns, when he was ejected in the third quarter, he said that he had been...
He just said that they subbed Godwin out a lot. Godwin played more snaps than Mike Evans did. He played one more snap than Mike Evans did. Godwin was our number one wide receiver as far as snaps are concerned. The second was Mike Evans. Chris Godwin had 52 snaps on offense. Mike Evans had 51 snaps on offense. But then Trey Palmer only had 38 snaps on offense, and Devin Tompkins only had 13 snaps on offense. So I think Bowles that was not a really forthright answer.
Provoked by a Bucs offensive lineman who, quote unquote, said some things that he shouldn't have said. He said it wasn't Cody, the person he punched, but he said that it was one of the Bucs offensive linemen, and I don't know if you have any insight on that.
Asking about what happened with that punch.
Or anything like that.
If I was to comment on all the things that were said on the field right now, Jen, I can tell you some things that probably are much worse than what happened yesterday, but I don't know who it was or what was said, so it's football.
I realize it's an unusual question, but got to do my due diligence and ask.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Clyde Cansey now with 5 sacks. He missed a lot of time early in the year.
Yeah, Cansey's got
Just
5
how this
sacks
guy
already.
Continues to get better. What are you seeing in terms of not just the pass rush, but the overall game that he's playing right now?
He's figuring out how they're trying to block him. That's big for him. Usually you just do your job when you come in, try to learn the scheme. Once you learn the scheme, then you start adding your play to it. He's becoming more explosive because he's seeing everything faster. And that's really helping him out a lot.
Understandably, every game's important. You want to go out and win every game, but this next one against the Falcons, do you almost view it as a playoff game, just given the ramifications of who wins and what it means for the standings?
We viewed yesterday.
David, you are 100% right. You said the presses are boring not because he's paranoid, about answering questions, but because we find the reporters' questions insufferably stupid. For the most part, yes. And I have tried to think about, if I was one of these guys, what would I do? And I've thought about, while I'm watching the game, I'm like, I'll write down questions. If I was a reporter, this is what I would ask the coaches. It's a little bit harder than it seems to come up with questions to ask these guys, but I feel, come up with better questions than they do. But one of the things that I think they should do is crowdsource it. Get on Twitter and say, what do you want me to ask the coaches? And just let the fans, give them suggestions on what questions, what do the fans want to hear, right? Wouldn't that be better? Why don't they do that? Never understood that. Hey, Coach, how's it feel to play with guys out of position? Yeah, he does that, Jenna. Jenna. All the time. Jenna.
As a playoff game. From here on out, every game we play is a playoff game. So, and most of them are division games that we play, so it's really important for us to win those division games.
This Falcons team, I don't think has lost in the NFC South. What is it about that group, which their record indicates they've had some struggles too? What is it about that group that has allowed them to be so successful in this division? They've beaten every team.
Arthur does a great.
She just asked what it is about Atlanta that has allowed them to beat every team in the division. I didn't realize that they were undefeated in the division so far. So they've beaten the Panthers, the Saints, us. Apparently, Panthers fans are complaining about there being ping pong tables in the locker rooms. Remember when that happened with us? Who was it? Lovey? Somebody came in and got rid of all the ping pong tables and stuff.
Great job coaching them. They're very well prepared when they come out to play. They play with a lot of energy. At division games, the record's out the window.
Yeah, right. I think it's their ego.
It's going to be a tough game.
That's why they don't do it.
It's to be tough on Sunday.
A 4-chan presser.
It's week to week league, and guys are coming in and out of lineups. They're injured, they're healthy. But what can you take from facing them already this year that you could apply, maybe even what you learned about yourself in that matchup that you hope to get corrected for this go around?
Well, like every week, you got to make plays when it's time to make plays. We had the game at the end. We didn't make plays. They made the play to win the ball game. We got to make the plays at the end to win the ball game.
Got to make plays.
Like to have all
got to
your
coach
guys,
it up.
But,
execute
so
it
many
better.
young players, and that's kind of the structure of your team, right? You have guys that have played, and then they're backed up by virtual rookies or first or second year guys. But how much growth have you seen from those young guys, and how much does that sort of help your team now that you're halfway through this? They're not rookies anymore. But what you're seeing from just that group, even the draft class, I mean, every one of those guys have contributed.
Well, it's helped because they're settling down now. They've gotten all the butterflies out the way and all the mistakes out the way, hopefully.
Talk
so
about
now
the
they're just
rookies we
settling down
drafted
and
this
playing
year.
Football, and that allows them to play faster. All of them are coming together at the same time, so hopefully it continues.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Huh. Well, didn't learn nothing there, as usual. Any other press conferences we want to watch? See, I told you. He did. Leaves Atlanta with the only actual roster. Yeah, and they're building a team from the ground up with a philosophy. Was it BA that came in and got rid of the ping pong tables? I can't remember. No, Rampage, I do not have the guy I'm playing in fantasy football, he's got ETN, but he's already beat me by like 30 points. So let me see. He had Dak Prescott, DK Metcalf, And it just everybody killed it on his team this week. He's going to get 163 points. So I done lost this one this week. Got to play winning football. That's sage advice right there. I know, right, David? How awesome would that be? And plus, it would be entertaining, and we'd get a lot of fans if Bowles came out there dressed as a pirate. I think it's a winner. I'd do it. Our record in Atlanta is pretty good recently. We get Chick-fil-A to sponsor the Todd Bowles dressing up as a Buccaneer for pressers. Why Chick-fil-A? Yeah. Not a lot of press conferences. Dressed like a clown. Oh, no.
You're down, you're trailing in the game.
Because attendees, I got it.
Mike Evans, and you watch him fly in from about 4 or 5 yards out. What's that like from your perspective?
Caps on.
I mean, he's a special player, obviously. I mean, hats off.
I know.
To him. He's
That's weird.
done it so consistently for so long, and that play is just an example of how special he is.
That one we saw with Todd Bowles just now, that was from today. But that's the only one. I think Canales will have one tomorrow. He usually has one later in the week. Baker doesn't give good press conferences, I don't think. It does look like a Trip Scoop ice cream hat. What is that? Except there's no cone. We need a cone. Now we got to look and see. Okay, let's see. Does he come on? Oh, okay. What's it say on the side of his head? Does anybody know that logo?
Baker, take us through. You're down, you're trailing in the game.
Paint company.
The play happens to Mike Evans, and you watch him fly in from about 4 or 5 yards out. What's that like from your perspective?
I mean, he's a special player, obviously. I mean, hats off to him. He's done it so consistently for so long, and that play is just an
I don't know if his shirt is good for the kids. Good message for the kids. Just run across the road. Do it. He's wearing an ice cream hat, and then telling his young fans to just run across the road. Life is much better on the other side of the road. Just do it. Go for it.
example of how special he is. Just the run after the catch.
No cone, save on calories.
Be exactly where he's supposed to be on that route, and then make obviously a huge play after that. And so, yeah, extremely happy for him. We needed that. We needed a little spark, and he was the guy to bring it to us, and nobody better than him.
You guys had a hug in the hallway afterwards. What did you say to him?
Jenna talking about, you guys hugged in the hallway. What was that all about? What'd you say to him? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about hugging up on that dude? You know, when I watch football, that's what I watch it for, because I want to know what these guys are feeling when they hug each other. That's the only reason why I watch football. The guy hugging.
Congrats. I mean, I really don't have the words to describe what he just did in his career to accomplish that for 11 seasons in a row. And I'm pretty damn happy I wasn't the guy to break that streak, to be honest with you.
Al won.
More happy for Mike.
He predicted
it's
21.
amazing.
He was off by 2. So the final score was, what was the final score? 21-18. So he said 2017, I think. Yeah. You notice that too, Joe? Baker does not look like a happy camper, especially when he's sitting on the sidelines. He's all by himself. Nobody's ever over there talking to him. And he just looks unhappy. Does he still live in the Browns Stadium? He dresses like he does. No, he's definitely not Cam Newton in the fashion department. Although, I don't know if I'd wanted to be Cam Newton in the fashion department. Hug in the hallway. I know. Jenna in on the fields. Yeah, you were close, David. My daughter says I watch football to get cranky. Oh, my gosh.
He's the first ballot Hall of Famer, and nobody can take that away from
We
him.
won yesterday.
Was
I'm
Evans
not
the first
cranky.
option on that, or were you working through your progressions on the touchdown?
There was a good question. I don't know who this was, but they asked, was Evans the first option there, or were you working through your progressions? And Baker's like, what are progressions?
Before the snap, no, but the way they rolled the safety into the middle of the field, he ran the route exactly how we talked about. He had outside leverage on a nickel, stuck his foot in the ground and broke in, and just knowing the timing of the coverage, and he made the rest happen. So he did exactly what he was supposed to do, and then on top of that, he did the rest.
Baker, how hard was it the first half to try to throw the ball? On the interception ball came out of your hand.
Yeah, I'm pissed about that one. Yeah, I mean, they got to deal with it too. It's just
Billabong.
circumstances. There's no excuse.
I think it's a Billabong hat.
But got to find a way to get a better pass to where it's not floating up in the air like a 12-6 curveball. But yeah, just unfortunate. But we hung in there, weathered the storm, and literally, and then came out in the second half and made it work.
Baker, you're a guy that loves football. What's it like to be a part of the history of Mike Evans and getting him 1,000 yards?
Yeah.
He needed to get 10 years in a row.
I mean, it's truly special. It's one of those things you'll look back on and be able to cherish that moment that you were a part of it, and that includes everybody. Offense.
And that's something I don't understand with the media types too. They all got to ask the same question when it's a big thing. Like Mike getting the 1,000 yards. They've all asked a variation of the same question. I guess so they can print it. I don't know, but they do that with all the time. Like if somebody gets a bunch of sacks or whatever, they'll be like, they'll all ask the same question, just worded differently about the sacks.
Offensive staff, O-linemen. Obviously, this goes back for 11 years, so that's pretty special to think about all the people that are a part of it, and for us to seal it with a few games left. That's really special for us, and I'm so happy for him.
As the game was playing out, how aware were you guys that he was getting closer and closer to 1,000?
We knew before that last drive when he was about 4 or 6 yards away. Everybody kept saying different numbers. So
progression.
Yeah, first pass.
No, how you stay far.
They probably would have had to double cover him for me not to throw it to him. But made a great play.
Baker, you guys are right in it. You've been in it up to this point. New Orleans lost. Atlanta, you could take them on Sunday. So what does it mean, this stretch right here? It's like a round-robin tournament in a way.
Yeah, I know I mentioned it to you guys earlier in the week about this is playoff mentality for us. And Coach Bowles said it last night. We have an 8-day window, including today.
Yeah, you're right, Kate. That's what it is. They're all competing to be the one referenced. They'll get that one question worded just right. That'll get the answer. They get everybody to print it and say, it was that person. Yes, Kate, 100%. They're asking for other journalists. Yes. Cam Newton's fashion cross between a pilgrim and a pimp. This is true. Man, he was a silly dude, man. Silly dude. Some of that stuff he wore. Oof.
That, we can be in first place in this division. So take care of business next week and see what happens the rest of the way. But it's a one game at a time mentality, and our guys came ready to play, and we found a way to win. Doesn't have to be pretty. A lot of things to correct, but we found a way to win.
When you're in your first year with a new team and a new system, you've got a guy like Mike Evans who, in really meaningful games and really important moments, he seems to show up and be the guy and says, I'm going to be the one to make this happen. Just what's it mean for you as a quarterback to be able to have such a reliable force on the opposite end of the field?
It's amazing to be able to have a safety blanket like Mike. Obviously, Chris does a lot of special things as well, but Mike turns that switch. He flips it on and turns it on when he needs to, and gave us the spark. Had a great game, so we're lucky to have him.
Baker, you've ingratiated yourself not just to the offense but to the defense as well. You're a team captain. When you see your linebackers go down, and basically J.J. Russell is the last man standing out there. Yeah. When you're on the sideline watching him play out there,
he's asking
your mind
about the defensive linebackers.
A bit of a one-man gang.
Yeah,
Why would
between
you ask
J.J.
the
and then Ryan
quarterback
Neal
that?
stepping up in a huge way. That's the mental preparation that those guys are two true pros. You don't get a whole lot of reps with the guys that they have in front of them. But and obviously Ryan's not even a linebacker. He came in and just learned it on the fly and played great. So that hats off to those guys for being mentally prepared, knowing what to do, and coming in and stopping a good rushing attack.
Okay,
thanks, guys.
Tom, you just want me to torture myself? Getting a montage of questions like that? It'd be a 50-hour video just for 1 week's worth of questions. Ryan needs to be the linebacker, yeah. Godwin, Palmer, and Otten not getting open. I don't know what it is either. Asking questions from like Canton. I don't know. I think Twitter would work. We got the short budget Stafford. Top 10. But then that means I'd have to listen to 10 questions at least, right? I still do not know that hat. I want to know what that hat is. What if anybody asks in the comments here? I wonder if Baker is purposely throwing the mic so that he can get these records. He's just feeding Mike. Now that he's got it, I wonder if we'll see him disperse it. But, I watched him with Carolina and the Rams and the Browns. He was never one to scan the field, if you know what I'm saying. Nobody asked about that hat. I am concerned. I want to know what this hat is. Hmm. 10 would still be a 30-minute video. I know, right? Is it that they're just not, she's just not self-aware, or that's like her trademark? She's like, I want to do what I do. We have a top-heavy wide receiving core and a bad offensive coordinator. Yeah, he needs to figure something out. Canales does. Because, I mean, we literally have just one receiver on this team. Yeah, Molly. Yeah, Perron Winfrey. He got released by the Browns. They waived him in July, and the Jets picked him up on their practice squad. Yeah, I like Baker rolling out too, moving the pocket around, but you know, we just got away from doing that. I don't know if they didn't feel like we could block good enough, or they didn't like the way he was doing it, or I don't know, but we went from being very heavily into moving the pocket to hardly ever moving the pocket very quickly. I know, Molly. See, that's why I don't get involved in the draft. I'm like, I want Perrion Winfrey. He ends up pulling guns on people and getting assault charges. He was a defensive end. I did it for the podcast. I was like, all right, this year I'm going to look into the draft and pick a player that I want us to get. And I did it. And Winfrey ended up being a bust. It's kind of how I feel about Cody Mock, because I did that again this year. I was like, all right, I'm going to pick somebody. I was like, hey. Yeah, I think he was defensive end. Oh, no, you're right. He was a tackle. Defensive tackle. I'm not even sure they played him at Cleveland. They started him off, but he was having all those off the field issues where he wasn't showing up for practice and stuff like that. And they like benched him for a few games last year.
This is a reminder.
Because of that. It's time to read, guys. Oh, we got a game coming on. Jacksonville, Cincinnati. It's going to be a good game. We got to pay attention to this because we got to play Jacksonville. Still do. Adibawari this year to a lesser extent. Is he a defensive end? Adibawari? Wyatt's that guy went to Green Bay that you wanted, right, David? You've been saying we should get him. Yeah. Oh, he's a starter for them. Yeah. It's a hat for supporting stopping at stoplights. You're joking, right? Yeah. That's how you do it, Molly. Just make 50 mock drafts and then you get one right. That's the one you hold up. See? Tom, are you serious about that hat? No, he's not. Okay, I get it. I can't ever tell with him. I should just know. Everything's sarcastic. Adebayor is a defensive 3-tech. Okay. Oh, he's a backup there? I see him listed here as a starter, but. Huh. I'm not on their official site, so. Arians with this roster? Yeah. You and me both, Joe. They don't give him starting reps. Yeah, we'll get in some of him here in a few weeks. Kenny Clark and Carl Brooks. Huh. Yeah, see, on here they got Carl Brooks behind Devontae Wyatt as right defensive end. Yeah, it has been fun, Joe. I appreciate y'all hanging out. That reminds me, I got to get off here. I thought everybody was going to be in a much better mood. It's funny. Yeah, we're going to end up watching some Packers All-22 here next week. So we'll keep an eye. Remind us, David, keep an eye on 95. Yeah, we're going to have the All-22 for this game, the Panthers game tomorrow. So we're going to start breaking that down tomorrow. Not a whole lot we're going to see, so it's probably going to be more of just lighthearted chatting while we got the film on in the background. If anything catches our eyes, because we're going to see a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of bad football. But we're going to watch it anyhow, because that's what we do, because we diehards. I couldn't find anything about it either, Tom. I was sitting here Googling it. I did like 15 different Google searches. All right, guys. I'm going to head out, and I appreciate y'all hanging out, coming, stopping by, and everybody putting our best Tampa Bay Browns attitude on display. And we're going to try to get Todd Bowles to wear a pirate outfit. At least an eye patch, rag on his head, or maybe one of those hats, and an earring. That'd be hilarious. Could you imagine Todd Bowles doing that? I mean, he just doesn't seem to have a sense of humor anyhow. It'd be hilarious. Yeah, I can image search with Google, but that was going to be way too much work. But if anybody does do it, let me know. Let me know tomorrow what that hat was all about. Yeah, Jags over Bengals. That's what I'm thinking too. Joe wears an extra medium. I didn't even know that was a size. All right, guys. Y'all have a good one. Until next time, go Bucks.